All right, guys. You should be able to hear me now. Hey, Divine. Raise your hand if you can hear me. there's my moderator. Hey, hey, hey. We got sound now? Don't need that. Woohoo! Hey. Yes. Sorry about that. I had my Bluetooth still on. I put it on D&D, but forgot to turn that off. So we are ready to go. We're doing a little watch me work today. We started about 5 o'clock. She got here about 4:45 and we started about 5 o'clock with the first braid. We are doing some medium knotless braids. I am already up to my third row. No, my last 3 rows. So I've got this row to go and then 2 more on each side up here. We are doing a custom color blend. This is a 1B27, 30, and 613 all blended together. And I have a trick for that. I'll show you guys what I did at the end for that. And as you can see, this is why we had to do all this blending. Look at all that color, y'all, and all this length. We got a lot going on here. Thank you, Makiba. Thank you, Makiba. Appreciate it. Let's see if we can get this where it needs to go, and I'm going to continue working. As you can see, I've already braided down everything, and I'm working as I go. I trim as I go, and the whole 9 yards. Somebody asked where I got my braiding rack from. I made it myself. I have a video on the channel showing you step by step how I made it. I think it was less than $100. You can get everything you need off of Amazon, and you can make it in like 20 minutes. It's double-sided, and it rolls, and it has storage at the bottom. The moderators will do their best to answer any questions you might have while I'm working, and then I will save most of the questions for the end. I'll stick around, okay? Where did I do my comb? Oh snap, Moesha. Hi. The purpose of this live is to show you guys that you can do a full head knotless in less than 3 hours. She's doing waist length and she has a lot of hair, so I'm expecting it to take about an hour, a half an hour or more, but I haven't had to do a whole lot of work with like detangling or parting or anything like that. It's been pretty easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and finish out her base, and then while I'm finishing her ends, I'll answer questions then. I want you guys to just focus on the parting that I'm doing. your mama in there. Hey, Tiff. Hi, Chandra. Don't worry if you can't stay to watch. I'm going to post this video to the channel, so you can always go back and watch it. Yes, honey, she got a lot of hair. It's really pretty. And it grows so fast. How do I get the ends to match? Are you talking about the color, Jordan? Oh, well, primary thing is you got to tuck. You see how you can barely see her color right there? I'm tucking all that hair in there. The hair that I'm using does have like a little ombre at the bottom, just a little bit, but I'm using a blend so that as her hair starts to age and it starts to come out a little bit, you won't really be able to see the difference. So you gotta practice your tuck game. Does your back hurt when standing up? No, actually it doesn't. My feet and my legs used to hurt a lot, but I started wearing shoes with memory foam in them, and that fixed the problem. And I make sure I get my pedicures every 2 weeks. I know how to take breaks when I need to. Hi, Fishy. How long will the knotless last on relaxed hair? It can last a while. It just depends on who's braiding it and if they're tucking that relaxed ends real good, because relaxed hair can be really stiff and not pliable and can pop right out of a braid real quick. No, my hands don't hurt. If they did, I probably wouldn't be doing this. Nope, I don't have any issues with them hurting. If you do have problems with your hands hurting, a lot of times that has a lot to do with your technique. You should be using your wrist, full range of motion, and relieving some of that pressure on your fingers. I'm gonna throw a question out there. How many of y'all prefer pre-parting? I part as I go. How many of y'all pre-part and how many of y'all part as y'all go? Anybody can get knotless braids there. Part as you go. Never tried it. Part as I go. I'm still on the fence with the parting. I figured that most of the people who follow me part as they go. Do y'all find that that makes the time go by faster? Part as I go. Yeah. Pre-parting can get confusing. I've seen people part all kinds of different ways. I like to work row by row, brick by brick. Because I don't know, I tried pre-parting a long time ago and I just felt like it just took too long. I felt like I was doing 2001. Hey, Melissa. I'm so glad you guys came out tonight. I know we're going to be taking a break next week. Next week is spring break for us. Y'all got plans for spring break? It never comes out right, Deborah. Going to see Kelly. Oh, nice. Man, we've been wanting to go to the rodeo here in Austin, but we keep missing it because we keep having plans around this time. It always comes like a week before South by, but we love to go for the barbecue cook-off. That's the best part. Are your people from Trinidad? Oh. I like the Houston rodeo better. Oh, we need to try that next year then. I haven't been to Houston's yet. Hey, Chauncey. Glad you made it. Oh, we got a lot of folks from Trinidad. Your hands look like. That's a good one. They look like motors. I hope this is close enough for y'all to see. I'm working on my grip game. Yeah. So, because she's tall, I'm going to be flipping over to overhand, because normally y'all see me do underhand like this, like that. But because she's tall and I want to make sure I get a nice grip at the root, I'm going to go overhand. A lot like you would do a feed in cornrow. And if you guys have been watching me, y'all know I always hold with my pinky, slide it under, let those two fingers grip, rotate, and bring it down. How many of y'all saw the rule of three video? Y'all notice I only put 3 in there? That's another thing that will increase your time. If you're inserting 10, 12 pieces per braid, it's going to take you all night or all day to do a head. If you can scale that down to 3, it'll reduce your prep time and it reduce your install time. So I have a whole video about how the rule of 3 works, if you didn't catch it. See if we can get some of this tuck action in there. So I got to get all of that tucked in there, you guys. So I'm going to probably add about 2 more pieces in. I'm going to go with my lighter color because I want the lighter color to be on the ends. And you don't need that much hair to tuck, guys. All you're doing is making sure that hair is around the bottom before you rotate. This is her hair right here. I'm going to slide that around and wrap it. I also notice I don't like the hair to be straight. I like when there's texture. See all that texture? Because I can see where her hair is and where this begins. Whoop! Orientation lock. What is that? Oh, my bad, guys. This thing popped right out the tripod. I didn't lose sound again, did I? Oh my God, I just saw the replay on that. That thing popped right out the tripod. What is that? I can't see the chat. When doing cornrows, how do you keep them centered? You have to have a strong grip game to keep them centered. Every time you're holding that centerpiece, that hand that's holding the centerpiece has to keep it in the center. Like a lot of people have a dominant hand and a weak hand. My dominant grip hand is actually my left hand, even though I'm right-handed. So that's usually the hand that I use to hold everything centered and in place. Hi, Renee. It depends on the client. If they have really, really thick hair, it is not a good idea to add them right at the root, because then you'll get like the braid will just be sticking out like that. You don't want that. You want to start with the client's hair when it's really, really thick, and then start adding your pieces. Most of the time when you're dealing with fine hair like this, you'll want to start at the root, because that's going to help support the hair, especially when the hair is thin and weak. It needs some support. But thick hair, no, you don't want it. You don't want to add too much, especially at the root, because thick hair is just going to stick out like that, especially when they start wearing it and then sleeping on it. If they're not tying it down at night, it's just going to stick out like that. We want them to lay flat. Giving out all the codes to the safe. Is it okay for those underneath to be in line with each other? You probably don't want to do that, because that's not how bricklay works. You want them to fall in between each other. You don't want them to be on top of each other. Every all the added pieces the same size. Yes. So yeah, if y'all go back to the rule of 3 video, all the pieces are the same size. That way you have an even, consistent braid. Some people like to use small pieces here and big pieces there. I feel like that's just too much work. Why not use 3 even pieces and then you have an even braid? I mean, that makes the most sense to me. All right, she tall. I gotta go get my stool. Most of y'all know I am short, so I need a stool for my tall girls so I can see. So another thing that you see here is I want to bust this into 2 rows, but I don't want this to go all the way down the middle. I want at least 1 braid right here in the middle, so that you always have something covered in the middle. So I'm going to just do a whole semicircle around for that next row, so that I can start with my center one and then work my way around each side. If you struggle with semicircles, start with a square and then just round out your square like that. And you just split the hair to make sure it's even. Y'all need to also notice I'm not using a whole lot of product. I know a lot of people like to take like a glob of product and like stick it on the part. I don't like to do that. I like to just use the product to comb the hair out of the way. I don't know, it just creates way too much buildup for me. I need to start recording some of these crazy retouches I get sometimes, because people are so scared to wash their hair. And I'm like, no, please wash it, because that buildup gets old and it starts smelling and it ain't cute. I got my semicircle here, and now I want to create a box right down the middle. So I'm going to start that one side of that box right here in the middle of this braid. Somebody asked about putting a braid on top. It's not the best idea. I mean, sometimes you'll get to the top and realize that you got to crowd them out a little bit, which is fine. But what you don't want to do is just put braids on top of braids on top of braids, and then you got a helmet. We don't need that. Definitely not the name of the game for Knotless. Oh, yeah, back a little bit for me. Another thing people get hung up on here too is when you get to the top of the head, you're going to have to make that semicircle a little bit smaller. So you see how right here as we make the curve, it looks more kind of like a, almost like a triangle. But you got to do that to get a little give in that curve right there. If you do like a straight box, it's going to look too big. See what I'm saying? It's going to look a little too big, and then it's going to lay right on top of that braid. So we're going to make that one a little bit smaller, just to accommodate that curve. So you see what's happening here? So now I have a braid that's going in between these two, not on top. This is usually the second to last row is usually the only time you have to do this, because that curve just gets really tight right there. So it looks like for this row, we're gonna have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So it's 5, and then that means there's 4 on that side. So it's 9 on this row. That's for those who are into counting. I never count because everybody head different. Really long natural straight head, and I wonder how the part accommodate for the bricklaying. Yeah. Yeah, even when you do triangles, for some reason that second to last row is super tricky because of that curve. So now that we got the curve, now we can get that line nice and straight. need a Sheila. You can get a Sheila on Amazon anytime. Just click on the store, huh? Oh, good job, D. That, where can you get that? Oh, it's on Amazon. All right, so let me show you guys why I'm adding pieces. Yes, variations of head shapes. What else? So a lot of people can't get straight lines, but it gets some beauty supplies. Built funny. That's a good one, Jordan. Um, so a lot of people still have soft scalps. A lot of people don't have even density in their scalp. So sometimes they'll have like little bald spots or little patches that just don't grow. So it's almost impossible to get a straight line. So not everybody has a photogenic heads. A lot of the straight lines, yes, alopecia. A lot of the straight lines you see are due to the magic of lighting. So somebody asked me about why I was adding hair. We're doing waist length. So I don't know if you guys can see. It's pretty long. It's gonna fall natural waist on her. And we're using 52-inch hair. So as I'm going down, you can see I'm running out of hair. This is her natural hair. I'm running out of hair. So when I get to 2 legs that are getting a little bit thin, I'm going to add in an extension piece. I still want to make sure I'm getting my tucks together though. And then somebody had asked me a long time ago, do you have to borrow? Yes, borrowing, you have to borrow. It's inevitable. Unless you're adding pieces and cutting the ends off. But this is also what you call length management. I'm managing where the hair stops by where I add the hair in. So I'm gonna add another piece in here. And all I did was I just took a regular one I had off the rack and I split it in half. That's all I did. Just change up the size as I need it. I also want to make sure that I have enough hair to tuck her ends in. Yes, everybody has a different hairline. So that's the reason that I always part from the middle and go towards the hairline, because some people have hairlines that go further back and on one side, and then they go further out on the other side. So sometimes you may not even have an even number of boxes going across the head because the hairline is different. So that's why I always tell people, don't start your parting from one side to the other. Start with the middle and then work around. And add extensions and bulk the braids and just left it as I thought it looked okay. Yeah, I don't know what that means, but yeah, I like to add my extensions in where the hair stops, because I want this color to show at the bottom. I don't want any of this black. I want the color to show at the bottom. Whenever you're doing the back, you always just make sure you have a little give and check for those hairs and make sure that they're not pulling. But I'll show you guys the hair that I'm using at the end. Y'all know I pretty much use the same thing. Yeah, anytime you got a live test dummy, go for it. That is the best practice. I use the TC braiding hair. I don't get the color that I want. Yeah, not every brand is gonna have the colors that you need. Yeah, it's always hit or miss with that. right, so you see we got my middle one here, and then we got these two. But this one is a little higher up because I had a little spot that I was trying to cover right there. So I'm not worried about that little spot that I'm trying to cover, because once I bust this down the middle, these two braids are going to cover all that up. Let's see what I'm saying right there. Tilt your head back for me. So this is what I'm saying right here. You see that? So I had a spot like that right here that I was trying to cover. So I'm trying to do the same thing to get a straight line. Thank you, Makiba. Yeah, half a pencil. You guys are funny. I'll show you guys at the end. Just got over here. Keep it tame a bit after they would. Let me address that. I'm gonna address that when we get done because I see people using GOTS to be wrong, um, or using it when they don't have to use it, because it don't work for all hair types. But yeah, while I work on these ends, I'll address all those questions. All right. I'm gonna work on these ends, but while I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and put some mousse on her base. And I believe some of the questions were, why do we use the mousse? I guess what are the best ones? This is my mousse from the Braided Beauty collection. It is the strongest hold mousse that I know of on the market. Basically, the purpose of mousse is to set the natural hair. So if you've ever had a roller set or you understand the mechanics of a roller set, you need a mousse like this to keep the style in place. So the best way for it to work is when the hair has gel on it, or it's wet and it dries with this product on it. For example, I laid my edges with this alone today. No no edge control, none of that. So I usually tell my clients, if they wash their hair, the best time to use this is after they wash their hair. Tie it down and let it air dry, and then it keeps everything nice and flat. The best thing to do is sit under a dryer, but usually what I'll do is I'll do this while I'm working on something else, and that'll allow it time to dry. If you have somebody who has high porosity hair and it doesn't work well with edge control, this does the trick, especially when you just put it around the edges and then tie a wrap around the edges. That's essentially how I laid my edges today. No edge control, just mousse, tied it down, let it dry. All right, the other question I saw, somebody said they use Gots2b. All right, so Gots2b is really tricky. This is what you're talking about, right? I'm pretty sure this is what y'all are talking about. So Gots to Be is used best on dry hair. That's simply because Gots to Be is water soluble. What do I mean by water soluble? That means to remove it, you have to use water. So if you spray it on wet hair, it's not really going to do much. So the hair has to be dry, have some kind of product for it to stick to. So you'll see that people do that on the roots instead of using a mousse. That works best, in my opinion, for fine hair, fine texture hair that has a lot of flyaways. But I don't make it a habit of using it. It's not super thick. It's like any other mousse. It just has, you can feel the stickiness in it. So you can tell that it has a lot stronger hold. If you've ever used the, yeah, Gots to Be. If you have ever used the Tropical Roots setting foam, if you compare that with like Lotta Body setting foam, Lotta Body is kind of like a light hold. You don't really feel the stickiness in it. But Tropical Roots, you can feel the stickiness in it. So you know that it's going to set some stuff down. Mine has a high sticky consistency, so you know it's gonna stay. When I tell you my edges stay laid all day, they stay laid all day, and it doesn't dry my hair out, and it smells really good too. So one thing I've seen people do is spray Gots to Be on the actual braids at the bottom after they dip them. That is a total waste of product because the hair is wet. What are you spraying it on there for? Makes no sense. If you remove the product with water, why would you spray it on something that's wet? So I stick to the basics. I only use that, actually, really, the only time I really use Gots to Be is on like stitch braids and cornrows and stuff like that. That's really the only time I see that to be necessary, because on top of all that, you adding more products on top of product, and that causes more buildup. And especially when you're dealing with somebody who has dry hair, you'll never see me really use that on like any 4A, 4B, 4C type of hair, because that hair tends to dry out faster. All that alcohol in it, like back in the day we used to use Pump It Up, all that alcohol dry your hair out. What else? Another big freeze spray. Yeah, it kills me when people say, oh, I use this, but I don't know what it's for. Okay, well then, why are you using it? Like, look at the ingredients on the product, understand the purpose for it. Don't go waste your money on something that you don't know works. People use all kinds of different products. I don't use the same products that everybody uses. I use what I know works best for me and my methods. So, yeah, just read the labels, understand how it works. If you don't, I've used some products where it's just too sticky, or I notice there's too much residue. I just can't do it. But some people swear by them. Watery, yeah. So I know Lotta Body mousse is a lightweight. Yes, Lotta Body is very lightweight. But it works. It's great for their like twist outs and roller sets. It's great for fine texture hair, not so great for thick hair. How do you cope with back and hand pain? I used to have pretty bad back pain, but like I was saying earlier, most of that stemmed from me having foot and leg pain. Once I changed my shoes to like memory foam shoes, I stopped having a lot of issues with that. I make sure I stay on top of my pedicures, and I get like the deluxe spa pedicure where I get my legs massaged like for a long time to like increase the circulation in my legs. Um, Range of motion, I stretch for the most part during the day. I sit down, I stand up. I don't stay in one spot. I'm constantly moving. I do wear, I did notice when I started wearing a waist trainer, that helped me with posture and back support. So you may want to look into that. if you're standing up all day long. It helps a lot. Or like those, not a waist trainer, but those back support braces that you see a lot of warehouse workers use. Those work really well also. I missed that. She said she doesn't have back or hand pain. Yeah, my hands don't hurt. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that I switch between techniques all the time. The only issue I do have is my eczema. I have eczema on my hands, so I have to use different products. I have to use special hand soaps. I have to use special lotions that I have to use throughout the day. The doctors give you like steroid creams, but I feel like that makes it worse. So I just stay on top of my my hand care routine to keep from my skin from breaking out. So we coming up on the 3.5 hour mark. So we kind of right on schedule since we had to stop and get the camera stuff together and whatnot. And we're doing waist length, and I have a whole lot of hair to tuck. So we're doing pretty good on time. I had already, before we started, I had already made it up to the 3rd row, and I had already braided all of those braids down and trimmed them. So all I have to do is braid these down and trim them. The great thing about the great thing about this mousse is that it's lightweight, and you don't need a whole lot. You don't need a whole lot of it. I might go through, I probably do anywhere between 15 or 20 heads a week, and I might go through 1 bottle in a week. Oh, don't worry, Deja. Don't even worry. We've been on here for a minute. I don't mind re-answering questions. Hi, Annette. Hi, wife snatcher. So yeah, back to the gots to be. I keep this on hand, but you will hardly ever see me use that on knotless braids because for me it's like all in the setting of everything, and I don't want to add any more drying products to the hair, especially when you're dealing with thick natural hair, thick 4C hair. That hair tends to dry out. You don't want to keep adding high alcohol content products to it. I also will not, actually the only time you will see me use that on knotless braids is with like high porosity hair that like just shrinks up when you use like a water-based product on it. So like sometimes I'll have hair that just like drinks this up, like drinks it up. There's no point in using that product. You need something that's gonna hold the hair down. So instead of putting mousse on it, then I will use the Gots to Be, because the mousse is just going to make it revert again. Can you give your product breakdown again? Sure. So the only product that I use for the most part is Shining Jam. I always use the yellow one. I don't use any of those other color different ones that they came out with. This is the only one that works for me because I don't use a whole lot of product when I braid. Those of my OGs out there know that when you practice, it's best to practice without product. So if you can get an even clean look without product, this is just going to help you glide along. I've had clients where they're knotless up to 4 months with retouches. It really just depends on the person, how snatched they want to be. So a lot of times they just get in the look because they're going on vacation or whatnot. Most of my younger clients, my teenagers and my kids, they will wear their knotless braids for 3-4 months at a time. I know my daughter does. And then they'll come around the 5 to 6 week mark for a perimeter retouch, and then they'll keep it moving. Take it down after the 3 month mark, and then just do another set. And typically, you know, if the teenagers and the kids can make it happen, anybody could. Because my daughter don't even tie her hair up at night. Oh, back to the product. So this is what I use for the install. To set everything, we use the mousse. This is the Style and Set mousse. And then I haven't even gotten to the end yet. So that's really the only 2 products I've used so far. Those of you who are asking about the rack, this is a rack that I made myself. You can get all the products off of Amazon for less than like $100. Make it in 20 minutes. There's a whole video on how to make this rack. It's double-sided. It rolls. It has storage at the bottom. I've had several of you send me pictures of y'all's racks on Instagram. They're really cute. Yeah, I used to have a client. She used to keep her knotless in for like 5 months, and she would just get retouches. And then when she would book her retouch, like literally a week before, she would text me and be like, my braids still look good. I don't think I need a retouch. Let me just push this out some more. So I always took that as a good sign. I was doing something right. So shout out my moderators. Brycey Mancan is actually my son. He has a channel also. And I have no idea if Bree is in the room. I did not see her pop up. But she was supposed to be my other moderator. Oh, yeah, ASMR worthy. You're right. I need to get me a better microphone. I thought about that. Not to the wall. So when I used to work at home, I used to put my rack on my stand next to me, but because I'm right-handed, it was really difficult to reach the rack when I got to the left side of the head. So I had to come up with a solution. So I brainstormed several cart ideas to have something that moved around with me. The first one I did was actually a really giant big one. The grown out look faster. Yeah, it started with a big giant one because I wanted something that I could prep a lot of hair on at one time. But then when I moved to the salon, I wanted some smaller ones that each station could have. And so that's how this was born. I've noticed some people have the grown out look faster with knotless, but I can see how technique and good grip can affect the line. Yes, you're absolutely right. You know, it's really strange. A lot of people have been sending me this picture. I wish I had it on me, But it's a picture of this girl with these boho knotless braids, and they look they look like they're just incomplete. Like they got halfway through and was like, nah, we good. And they keep sending me, people keep sending me this picture, and they're like, I want this look. And I'm like, okay, I can give you the look, but I'm gonna have to give you my version of that look, because I can't bring myself to just have an incomplete look. Like, how can I make this messy without it like falling out all over the place? If I could find that picture, I just know that last month everybody was sending me that picture, and they wanted this really messy, undone boho look, and I'm like, I just can't I just can't do it. It's not in me to be that messy. But I did come up with some ways to make it look messy without it like actually unraveling, you know. What is that on your arm? You put the product on. This is it's an ace bandage. I get them from Amazon. I use these to put the product on my arm because at one point my eczema got so bad that like the product, every time I put the product on it, it was breaking out so bad. So I started doing this years ago. What did I used to use? Oh, I used to use a glove, but that thing was noisy. So I came up with the ace bandage idea. I did order this wristband. I don't really like the metal ones because the metal ones break me out too. I ordered this silicone one that I found on Amazon, but for some reason it has not come yet. I ordered it like a month ago, and they seem to have lost it in shipping. But it's like a all silicone one with like a little tray with like a little lid on it. That I wanted to give that a shot, because at least I could like reuse that one instead of having to take this off every time. Yeah, you're not gonna walk around the city. Say exactly. You were exactly right. I was gonna do a TikTok about that. Like I just can't bring myself to have half my clients running around the streets looking undone and the rest of them looking neat. Like, how inconsistent is that, right? You should get a patent for your cart. Well, I don't know if I can get a patent for the cart, because the cart itself is already a thing, and then all you do is get the racks and then you zip tie them. So maybe I can come up with something that already comes made, and all you have to do is just piece it together. Maybe that's a good idea. Thank you. Yeah, I should get a copyrighted. That's a good idea. Thank you. I need to put that in my planner. Yeah, so normally with knotless, it usually takes me right under 3 hours when I'm doing mid back length. Um, and I'm not, I'm focused, but usually waist length is 3.5 hours. Of course, it depends on the length of the client's hair and how much tucking we have to do. Yeah, I don't even think I can sit for more than 3 hours to get my hair done these days. Thank you, Shirley. Thank you. How do you know how much hair to add to the knotless braids? So my OGs in the room know I have a ton of videos on how to keep your knotless braids nice and neat and consistent without doing a whole bunch of work. Basically, it's something that you have to feel. Knotless braids is something that you have to feel. So as I'm moving down the braid, when I get to two legs that are getting too small and it's starting to become uneven, then I'm going to grab a piece of hair and I'm going to feed it in. If the hair is too short and it's not long enough, I need to grab a piece of hair to extend it so that it's long enough, because I want them all even. So that's how you know. It takes lots and lots and lots and lots of practice. And Yeah, once you get it, it's like second nature. It's like riding a bike. Thank you, Miss Ricci. See, I don't like I overshot this one. I don't like that one. So yeah, I overshot the landing on this one. You see how it's too black at the bottom? I don't like it, so I'm gonna redo it. Ooh, Usher! We gotta go see Usher. I forgot he was on Moesha. Yeah, I really overshot the landing on this one. No, ma'am. Alright. Oh, I didn't even need that one. This is where getting your tuck game up is helpful, because I notice a lot of people will add a lot of hair just so they can tuck the hair, when really you don't need that much. You just need to perfect your technique. All I'm doing is just pulling the hair around, wrapping it. When braids start to itch, can you use shampoo and water? Yeah, absolutely. A really good product for that. A really good product for like itchiness is well, one, what I do is I'll put my shampoo in a spray bottle, dilute it, and then spray that on there. And then on my wash day, I'll do like a full deep cleanse of my scalp. But there's a lot of braid sprays on the market now. The Tropical Roots one, I think, is probably the best one. And then there is another one by Head and Shoulders, the Royal Oils collection. They have a scalp itch elixir. It comes in like a little small bottle. You can get it at like Target, Walmart, Amazon. That one works really well too. Like, you wouldn't think of that to use for braids, but it works really good for scalp. Because you know it's Head and Shoulders. It's made for that stuff. So has anyone ever requested either a combination of colors or a link or even combination of different braid types on their hair? Oh yeah, back in the day, that used to be real popular. I want to say about 2018-ish. People were into what was called the gypsy look, where you'd have a braid here, a lock here, a twist there. That was really popular, and it was really popular when folks were going to Burning Man every year because they wanted the super boho gypsy look. So yeah, I've gotten that request a couple times. Actually, if you can go back into my Instagram archive, you can probably find some of those gypsy braids. Hmm. Yeah, tucking on your own head is a challenge. That takes practice. But I can do it. I just kind of, I have to flip my hand forward. But yeah, I can definitely do it on my own head. Braid, what was the other one? What about my braids? Ever instinctively tuck black hair in black braids? You're supposed to tuck hair regardless of the color, y'all. You're supposed to tuck, especially those ends. Especially those ends. If you're not tucking any color, you're not trying. I'm gonna get some shirts made. If you're not tucking, you're not trying. Tucking your own head. I do feel guilty when I use a huge amount of product to tame the stubborn ends to tuck. Trust me, practice without the product. Practice without the product. And you'll realize that you don't even need product to tuck. You do not. Like I was showing you guys earlier, I prefer her hair to have this natural feel instead of being completely bone straight, because at least when I get to wrapping her ends in there, I can see where her hair ends and this hair begins. And the texture helps hold inside the braid better. Watch, I'm gonna show you how to do this without product. See if I can get this on camera. We're gonna do this without product. I don't have anything on my hands. I'm just, see, I can see her hair. I'm taking that and I'm wrapping it around. And then usually once you can get it wrapped around, as long as you're keeping your hands gripped right here in the middle, all you have to do is just follow the motion and it's going to do it for you. See, I'd rather be able to tuck this without product, because I know that once that product melts away or evaporates, her hair is still tucked in there. See? You can't see where it ends or begins. So yeah, even with black on black hair, you should be tucking that stuff. There's nothing worse than you not doing the full job and then your client sending you a picture 2 days later with their ends sticking out the bottom of the braids. Now you got to stop what you doing to either fix it or send them a refund. Nobody likes either of those. So do it right the first time and it'll save you a whole lot of time on the back end, you know? So y'all see, while I've been doing all that, her roots are already starting to dry. You can feel it. Oh yes, honey. When I started doing this professionally, I've been there and done that. Then clients are quick to send you a picture. I'm not feeling this. This ain't what I paid for. Cause what people would do is they would use a whole bunch of products, slick it down, and kind of conceal it to make it look like it was tucked. And then literally 2 days later, after that product had melted away or evaporated, ends was sticking out all over the place. So I learned my lesson the hard way. I said, oh, no, 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 no. We cannot be doing that. Nothing sucks worse than having to change your entire schedule and rearrange something to fix something. So that's why I'm very clear about aftercare instructions. Because if y'all not following, I can't control what y'all do when y'all leave out of here. So if y'all not following the aftercare instructions, then I don't know what to tell you. Now, if it's something I know I made a mistake on, then I'll do my best to, rectify the situation. But half the time, It's poor communication, or people just don't want to read or do the work. Because once y'all leave the chair, I can't tie your hair up at night. I can't put that shower cap on for you. That's all you, boo. I've even seen people tie a knot at the end of the braid. Are you doing that as well? No, I am not tying no knots. So the only time I will tie a knot is when we're doing pick and drop, and that's when the braid stops and we're gonna like curl or wave the ends or something like that, and I do not want the braid to unravel. Somebody had said that when they dip the hair, I forgot who said that, but somebody had said when they dip the hair with knots in it, the knots fall out. Negative. That is not true. I don't know where you found that. I don't know where you got that information from. Once you dip the hair in the water, them knots are going to be locked. They're not falling out. So no, I'm not knotting the bottom because she wants these ends straight and feathered. So I mean, you're not gonna get a clean feathered look if you got knots at the bottom. Only time you'll ever see me do knots is when I'm doing like pick and drops. That's when we were like curling or waving the ends or something, you know. I think I did that in my last video with the red blended stuff. Do beads weigh down the hair? Absolutely. They are heavy. Beads are heavy and noisy. People will hear you coming a mile away. So that's a lot of times why you'll see people who do beads, they usually do beads on natural hair, or they did not add a lot of weight in the braid because they will add weight to your hair. They're really hard to sleep on too. All right, I'm down to the last two, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and turn my water on. So while I'm doing my finishing touches, I'm multitasking and I got my water going. It takes about 6 to 8 minutes for the water to come to a complete boil. So I kind of got that down to a science. I can usually tell how long it's going to take me to finish. You gotta do you, boo. Yeah. Yep, you're right. Your mom says you had SATs. How'd that go?
Good.
Yeah. Girl, I took SATs like 3 times in
Really?
high school.
I think I'm gonna take it again. Just
Yeah.
Because.
Yeah, I was not satisfied with none of my scores the first time, so I kept taking it over and over again. And then we weren't a testing site, so my mom would get irritated. She'd have to take me to like a whole nother city to get to do the testing. But yeah, I don't know. I've never been a good test taker. Like I've always been an honor student, but them tests, especially when they put that timer over your head.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, it's a time for me.
That's good. All right, so we went through products. I only used 2 products so far. Another thing I noticed people do is they skip trimming. Trimming is important because that's what's going to keep your braids from getting super, super duper fuzzy. If you don't trim this stuff off, they're just going to stick right out when they dry out. I actually used to do that back in the day because I used to think that the water would like smooth everything out when really that's not the case. Um, you'll walk out the door feeling smooth and clean, but as soon as that water dries up, um, these little straight pieces, they're gonna just get all fuzzy and start wrapping around the braid, and it just, you know, gets to looking funky after a while, you know. If you're good at your tuck game, you don't have to do too much trimming. And trimming is important, especially when you're doing tapered looks, because when the hair is tapered, it's going to stick out. And I'm only trimming the ends. I'm not trimming where I think a lot of her hair might be sticking out. I don't really see a lot of her hair sticking out. But really, this is where you're going to see a lot of the frays at the ends. Yeah, I think that's one of my biggest pet peeves on Instagram. Is seeing somebody with freshly dipped braids, but I can see that they did not trim, didn't even try. I did see a really cool hack. I saw somebody post the other day for trimming. I want to try it, but I'm afraid to because I'm scared I'm going to cut the whole braid off. But if it works, I'm going to definitely share it with you guys and make sure to credit that person because, man, if it works, it's a game changer. Jordan sue us products to waste. I saw a braider add conditioner to her hot water to give the hair a scent, and she said it's the smoothest. I mean, you can. People add oils and stuff to the water. You can do, you know, whatever floats your boat, but guess what? That conditioner is going to sit in that braid. So why add all that extra product? You do better to like tell the client to put conditioner in a water bottle and just spritz their hair with that during the day or in the morning before they leave for the day, and that'll give it a nice fresh scent. But like I was saying earlier, this smells really freaking good. Smells good. So yeah, to each his own. I tried the conditioner thing, but then I noticed that it would leave a lot of residue, and I just didn't like the way that looked, so I nixed that out the process. You make me wanna, oh, when I tell you Usher was my teen crush, I had every Usher poster, every Usher magazine. If he was in it, I had it. And I didn't see him in concert until we moved to Austin. That was like, I think 2014, 2015 or something like that. And I was so mad because at that concert, that was the concert he decided not to take his shirt off. Ooh, I was pissed.
Mine was always Justin Bieber. He's coming to Austin in like April.
Is he? Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
But all those tickets were like $1,000.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
$1,000 in the
I
back.
bet. I believe that. With a barber machine, no, it was like with a hair trimmer. But I've been like researching trimmers to see if they have guards that are really, really like 1 millimeter guards. Because I don't feel comfortable. I don't trust myself with that yet. Like I would have to practice that. Because what I do not want to do is mess around and cut off a whole braid and have to redo that whole braid. Ooh, my whole day would be ruined. So I've been researching, trying to find like a very affordable trimmer that has like at least a 1/2 millimeter or a millimeter guard to keep me from cutting off a braid. And then too, the blades have to, be sharp enough to get nice and close, get it off, But yeah, it was a cool hack. I had never seen, I had seen it a couple of times before, but I didn't see a lot of people incorporating it. So I definitely want to give it a try. But there is something therapeutic. For some reason, I like the trimming process. There's something like real like ASMR-y about this. That's what I meant. I did once, and it ravels and sticks up in the braid. Good to know, Shanique. Yeah, good to know. That's good to know. All right, well, I'll definitely give it a try and test it out just for y'all. All right, my water just finished. I just finished right on time with that trim. All right, so I like to put my water in a pitcher because it has the whole lid open. I don't have to fight with a lid. And I'm not gonna go too high because y'all know her hair was really long. So I don't wanna go too high. But I just wanna go high enough to get it nice and loose and straighten out them ends. So you see how this is moving and this is still stiff? The camera does this color no justice. It looks really fire. Matter of fact, it's making me want to go back to blonde this summer because I thought I was missing this red, but I don't know what it is about the blonde, man. It just pops, you know, on skin, especially melanin skin. So this is what I was saying, like if you put knots in the hair and you dip it, the knots are going to stay. So it's important that this hair is nice and straight before you dip it and you pull those knots out. Otherwise you end up with this. That ain't cute. You're basically using the heat to mold the hair. So this is why you can get waves, you can get curls, you can get crimps. What length is this considered? This is considered waist length. All right, so since her hair, most of her hair stops about right here, I still want to set it because I wasn't able to dip too high and it's still a little stiff up here. So what I like to use instead of the setting mousse is just a regular old styling mousse. You can use any old styling mousse that looks like this that comes in a can. This is my favorite, the blue one in particular. It works really good on synthetic hair and keeps everything nice and tight. So we're just gonna put a little bit of that on her ends, and that's gonna soften up the hair also. right. To even everything up. And my OGs know you can go to my Amazon store. I have all these products in Amazon store. They've been there for years. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with a razor. I'm not gonna go in with my scissors. Just get one of these, get the little replacement blades, super cheap, and we're gonna trim it up, make it nice and even. Usher and Tyrese fine back in the day. That's a good one. They ain't fine no more. What happened? Looks nice on you, but the red is cute too. Thank you, McKee. Thank you, Makiba. What, yeah. Alrighty. Alright. So one thing I like to do so I don't waste my water is I like to take my comb and just dunk it in there. That's gonna help like get all of the product off of the comb before I clean it. I do not put these in the water because they will rust. There's a whole different process for that. What else? What else? All right. Another thing people like to do, especially with dry hair, is put a little oil on it. So she doesn't have dry hair, but typically I'll go in with the hair growth oil, anti-itch. I use this on my hair every day, and it has been working wonders. Or oil sheen. I only use this for dry hair. If it looks dry, it gives it a nice, pretty shine. But I don't recommend people do using this on a daily because it will cause buildup. But for the most part, she's already set. But going back to what I said earlier, I've seen people use this on the bottom of the braids. It makes 0 sense, y'all, because this is wet hair. You remove this with water. It cancels each other out. It makes sense up here if the hair is dry and has a setting product on it, but not on the wet braids. Makes no sense. I'll go in and clean up. There's another spot here. Clean up. All right, this camera is about to get a little shaky. Let's see if we can turn it around. All right. All right, we are finished. We braided up all of that hair waist length. Nice and thick. I chose that color, and I'll show you what hair I use so that it would blend well with the color she already had. If y'all were here earlier, y'all would have seen how much color she had. She keeps it tied up. Nice and dry. We're good to go. All right, you want to show everybody your face now? I'm going to turn you around. Say hello to my model, guys. We're going to have you stand up so you can show everybody how long this is. Be careful. And she's tall, too.
You want to turn around?
Yeah, turn around for me. Give us a little shaky shake. Perfect. You might recognize her. She looks like another model I have. Turn around for me. Bring it to the front so everybody can see. Bring all your braids to the front. There you go. Perfect. So, yes, thank you. Everybody give our model a round of applause for being such a trooper. I told her all she had to do was just sit there. Sit there and smile. Let's turn around and give us another 360. Perfect. And given the amount of time that we had, we did this in technically 3.5 hours because we did do a little blowout situation and then we had to stop with all of the extra stuff that was going on. So if I had no distractions or interruptions, I definitely would have got this done by myself in 3.5 hours. So yes, 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 we are good to go. So you're free to go, my dear. I'm going to stay and answer some questions for the group. And if you have any questions or need anything, you just let me know, okay? All right. All right, guys. Oh, let me show you guys the hair. So the hair we are using, let me show you guys the hair wall. So this is my hair wall. This is where all the hair goes that I have organized. It is not for sale. These are for clients only. So don't ask me. I have a whole beauty supply store in my shopping center, so there's no point. Anyways, where is the hair that I was using for this? What did I do with it? All right, let me go find it. I know I had 2 more packs of it to show you guys. Is it this one? Oh, it was this one. All right. So this is the hair. This is the Expressions braiding hair. The length that I used on her was 52 inch. These are actually 42 inches. But luckily, Expressions now comes with blended colors that people normally ask for. So whenever they already come blended, I try to get the blended packs first, and then I'll blend them up together. So for example, we used 4 different colors in her hair. Since I was able to find packs that had 2 or 3 of the colors already in there, that only left me with 2 more colors that I had to blend in there. So that just makes the whole blending job a whole lot easier. So for the ends, we did the 27-613. And then for her roots, we did the 1B 2730. So it was a blend of basically 1B 2730 and 613. How do you know the thickness of the hair to braid? Typically I will only use 5 bundles out of each pack. So for her head, I actually only use 5 bundles. I think I used 3 of these and 2 of these. And then I might have had a little bit I had to use out of a 6-pack, but I will never use more than 2 full packs of hair on a head. It really just depends. Usually when the person has thin hair or short hair, I'll use more hair to build up the braid. But when they have thick hair, you don't have to add as much hair. Can you show us your chair? I need that. Just the chair itself. It's dirty. I got to clean up everything, but just the chair itself. I got it from, all the chairs are exactly the same. I got them from a beauty supply furniture store in Dallas. What is it called? It's called Buy Right Beauty. Buyrite. Buy Right. They have an Instagram page and everything. But you can always get a chair on Amazon. When I used to work at home, I got my chairs off of Amazon. They're such a pain to put together, but once you get them done, they make your whole life a whole lot easier because they go up and down. They swivel, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, that is pretty much it, you guys. But yeah, Expressions coming out with the hair that's already blended saves a whole lot of time and gives you a more even blend. That's pretty much it. What other questions we got? So yeah, This went on a little bit longer than expected because we had to stop and answer questions and do a whole bunch of stuff. And then I've got to stay and clean up. So I'll stick around for a little while. How many clients do you typically do in a day? It really depends on what I'm doing. If we're talking about medium knotless, I can do up to 3 on my own. But most of the time it's kind of like, you know, kind of spread out. You might have some stitch braids in the morning, a knotless client in the afternoon, and then some Marley twists in the evening. You know, it really just depends. Say, thank you for sharing, because some people won't show you thinking you will take. Girl, no, who cares? Oh my gosh. Let me tell you something. I tell people all the time, and I need a shirt that says this too. I only have 2 hands in a few hours a day. There's no way I can braid everybody's hair. So how are you taking food out my mouth? Like, there's just not enough of me to go around. Now, if I could clone myself, then we might have to talk. But and I can't do this forever. So what should I do with my gift? Should I hold it to myself, or should I pass it along for the generations to benefit off of, you know, the well-bodied people to do? Because I didn't get to do this in my early teens and 20s. I was too busy trying to get a real career. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm late in the game, so I'm already building a retirement plan. So, no. Yeah, there's only so much you can do with it. Like, what am I gonna do, just hoard it? I can't hoard it forever. Somebody said Tyrese looks tired. Yes, he does. I'm gonna learn and perfect this on myself. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up and peel up out of here. Total time, Lisa, was 4 hours. Yeah, and that's only because we had to stop and camera fell a couple of times. Oops. Take a break here and there and answer questions, and yeah. And as you can see, my model had a lot of hair, so that's kind of like worst case scenario. Typically I don't have to do that much hair on that many clients in a day. So yeah, I know people who still can't complete a whole head in under 6 hours. So as long as I know I can turn over at least 2 or 3 a day, I'm gonna eat. Everybody gonna eat. So yes, so thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you did not make it to the live, or you did not see the entire thing, don't worry. I am going to post it on the channel so that everybody can go back and watch it if they want. And thank you guys for all your great questions and sharing everything and just showing up, because, you know, showing up is half the battle. You got to show up and show out. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye. Oh, thank you, moderators.